So Final Fantasy 2. Final Fantasy 2. Final Fantasia 2. Oh man, I'm weird. So why is this game so hated? Why do so many people give it such bad reviews? Why is it considered one of the worst Final Fantasies that ever was created? What is it like to play Final Fantasy 2 in 2021? This game came out in 1988. 33 years after this game came out. Here I am, playing it, giving it a shot. I will say I did play the quote-unquote best way to play this game, which is on the PSP. But let's get into it, because I have a lot to say or to defend about this game. Yes, that is right. So starting off with the characters. Again, we'll start off with the characters. And then we'll talk about the story too. In terms of story, there isn't too much there. Story's there, the world is there. You can immerse yourself about as much as you want to by talking to NPCs. But if all you're doing is just kind of following the main quest, there really isn't anything that is going to be like super, whoa, what's going on? Oh my god. But there's definitely a lot more story than there was in Final Fantasy 1. And the little bit of story that is there is good. It's pretty cute. And I mean, it's not bad. Now, I will say that's not the main reason why I was playing through the game. It's not the thing that was keeping me super enticed. But I will say it was nice enough, or especially when certain people died, I was like, dang, they really just about to do us like that. And considering it is an older game, when it came out, I'm gonna give it a thumbs up. Good story. And I will say this, I want to be able to talk about this game freely, so I am warning you all, there will be spoilers in this video. I am going to be talking about the people who died. If you want to jump over to the gameplay portion, go to this timestamp right here. So the story itself, big bad emperor trying to take over the world. Big bad emperor destroying lots of towns. You got a little rebellion trying to take over the emperor and essentially restore the world to a nice, peaceful place. In terms of pure story, I can't really say it stands out in any way, shape, or form, but let's talk about the characters. Starting off with Firion, and I guess this is really something I can say for the main trio, really all three of them, Firion, Maria, and Guy. There's just not much to say. They're there, they have portraits, they talk, so you know that they're special. You use them throughout the entire game, so they're different in that way. But there's just not much story. There's not really much character development. You don't really learn enough about them, or they really don't have enough dialogue that's special or unique or different for you to be like, oh, I see how this character is unique. This isn't just any other random warrior. This is Firion. This game doesn't give that feeling. But again, because of the time that it came out, and it, you know, it's understandable. This was a time before the stories were like, they were trying to make the story thing, but they weren't quite there yet. But I can see how they were trying. I really like how Firion looks. That's all really I can say. I mean, there's really not much more I can say about a character that doesn't have that many lines. Maria's cool. I mean, I grew to like Maria because I really like this game. But I mean, again, there's even less that I can say about her because she has less lines than Firion, and she, you know, is a girl with black/purple hair, and she's the girl, I guess, of the group. I don't know.
I guess she does have one important thing, which is her relationship with Leon. She is Leon's sister.
And then you have Guy. Now, Guy's awesome. This poor man literally has like 3 to 4 lines in the entire game, at least ones that I can remember. One of the best lines ever being that he speaks Beaver. And out of the trio, the most unique one, because I don't know, he's this big buff guy who's clearly portraying the dumb, big warrior type who just likes to smash and is dumb and talks like this. Like, that's legit how they wanted him to come across in the game. I don't like that he had such little lines, but at the same time, with him being the stereotypical, you know, dumb big warrior, like, I thought it was funny, but I'm also kind of glad he didn't get too many lines, because I think it would have been annoying reading his dumb dialogue. He does speak Beaver though, so he's got that going for him. Out of the 3, if it wasn't for Firion's appearance, in my opinion, being so unique, he's the one who stands out the most as a character. Now, it's funny because I have so much more to say about all the other characters in this game who you don't play as. At least not as much. Let me explain. So you have Leon. From the very beginning of the game, you hear about him, he's Maria's brother, and you lose him. You know, he's gone. You know, you start off with your little trio and you're like, oh, let's go find Leon. So here I am playing the game and I'm just like, okay, I really want to get to Leon. I want to start leveling him up. I want to start, like, especially with how customizable this game is in terms of gameplay. I was like, I don't want to get too far ahead into this game or grind too hard, you know, without having Leon and customizing him and stuff. Little did I know, you don't get the dang dude until the freaking end of the game. Like last couple of hours of the game. As a character, I think he's really cool. Hashtag spoiler, I kind of called that he was the Dark Knight and that he was working with the evil peeps. But when they did reveal that, I was like, okay, cool, yeah, like I was right, that's dope. I will say they didn't really do the best job of explaining why it is that he went evil. Even why it is that he joins you at the end to kill the big emperor. I mean, kind of, but not really. So, not the best there. But again, as a character, looks-wise, he looks pretty freaking dope. Minwoo I really like. Probably one of the characters with the most dialogue in this game. He's the healer and he's Hilda's advisor. Minwoo should be cool, you know? And because he's one of those characters who just join your party and you get to use him for a little bit, see him die at the very end, that was, you know, I was like, oh, okay, you just killed off my boy. Now, Joseph's also really dope. I love the way that he dies, the way that he sacrifices himself. And out of all the side characters who join your team along the way, he's definitely one of my favorites, you know, because he has a little bit of heart to him and soul to him with his family. And like, you know, him having a daughter, when he dies, you feel a little bit more, especially if you go back into his house and you talk to his daughter and he's like, yeah, your dad's dead. Jeez. Oh yeah, then we have Gordon. I kind of forgot about him. He's a little bit of a coward. He does show up a little bit and he joins your team for a while. It's kind of cool. I mean, a little bit unique in the sense that he's a warrior and he's a coward, I guess. Nothing crazy, I guess, not that one, you know. Layla, I felt like was in my team for a long time. Joins your team more times than one, I believe. Pretty dope. I like that, you know, she was a pirate. I thought it was a little weird that, you know, they're like, oh, let's you know, let's trust this girl. She turns, they're like, let's trust this pirate girl. Get aboard her ship. She turns on us, tries to steal our money or killing us or whatever. Has her whole crew attack our team. Our team proceeds to kill her entire crew. And then she says, okay, I'm sorry. And then our characters are like, hey, we forgive you. Do you want to join us? Again, it was kind of like, what? What? But it was also like, again, one of those standout moments. It was like, okay, dope. Now we have a little pirate on our team. Richard? Highwind. I haven't played Final Fantasy IV, but I know Highwind is a last name that is familiar. He is the first Dragoon that I've really gotten to like see and play with and interact with, and I think he's dope. I don't like that I had him for such a small amount of time, but I mean, again, not much to say, not too much character development. He sacrifices himself, he dies, but again, he's cool. He was a cool character, and I think that covers it for characters that join your team that are actually playable. Then you have like the extra characters for the quote-unquote DLC with Scott and stuff, but I didn't play that, so we'll save that for part 2 of this review. I don't know how farther in advance or whenever I replay this game, because I'm going to. That's my quick little overview of those characters. Now the gameplay. Let's get into the gameplay because I have so much to say. Again, the gameplay is one of the things that people absolutely despise. Just to knock the whole words thing out of the way, people don't like that you have to like ask for words and learn words, and they're like, oh, this is such a dumb mechanic. Oh man, I'm weird. I don't dislike it. I don't think it's necessary. I don't think that it made the game more fun, but it wasn't something that I was like, I'm taking away points because of it. So I don't really understand why people are complaining about that. It wasn't something that took away from my experience. I didn't like it. I didn't hate it. Now let me talk to you all about the leveling up system in this game and how I don't understand. I don't understand. I mean, I can kind of understand, but I don't understand.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
The way that you level up in this Final Fantasy is by using your weapons, using the magic, getting hit, avoiding hits. Anything that you do, that is how you get stronger with that. You want to level up your sword? You want to level up your strength? Attack a bunch. Every time you do that, there's a chance for you to level it up. Want to have more HP? Every time you get hit at the end of the battle, there's a chance for your HP to go up. I'm not exactly sure how the system boils down to, but you want to have more MP? Use a butt ton of magic, and eventually as your MP goes down and you end the fight with low MP because you used it during the battle, you're gonna have more MP. Your MP is gonna level up. This is just such a brilliant mechanic to me. The magic. Okay, so I love being quote-unquote OP. One of the things that I love about Final Fantasy 1, every new town that I went to, there was new magic, that was super dope. I was looking forward to it every single time. Final Fantasy 2, you start off with fire, and the more that you use it, it turns into Fire, and then Fire-ga, and then Fire-ja. Man, I'm weird. And it all goes based off of how much I use it. And not even that, I love that you can just right off the bat start off with doing area of effect moves. It made grinding so much easier. But why? Why is it that I love this so much? For me, it feels like every single little thing that I do in this game is worth it. And even though this does play a little bit of a role, the types of enemies that you go against and how strong they are does play a role in the amount of experience that you get. For example, my weapons, I got to a point where they were like capped out at like level 6 or 7, and it was just going up super slow. I looked into it online, and for them to actually go up even more, I had to go fight stronger enemies for me to get more experience for those weapons. You progressing and going against stronger enemies does affect the increase of certain skills in this game. But the great thing is, other things like HP and MP, evasion, all of those stats will go up almost no matter what kind of enemy you're going against. And same thing, especially with the magic in this game. It's purely the magic purely goes based off of uses. So if I use fire against the weakest enemy in the game, if I use fire against the strongest enemy in the game, it's gonna go up pretty much it's the same amount. I'm pretty sure. And that is what makes it so cool to me. Y'all know that I don't like to waste my time. And in most RPGs, if I'm in a low leveled area and I already grinded out to the point where like I'm killing enemies and I'm getting little to no experience, I feel like I'm wasting my time if I'm searching for the next place to go. Because I'm like, I'm literally getting little to no experience. Let me just get to the next area so that again, with me grinding, makes a dent into me leveling up. The absolute beauty of the mechanic in Final Fantasy II, when I was searching around and holy crap, did I explore a crap ton of this map right early into the game, is that even though I was lost and even though I was going super slow and even though there was a bunch of encounters, I felt like every single encounter mattered and I was getting so OP as I was doing it. And I loved that. I loved the fact that I could turn anyone into anything that I want to do. And I remember I went crazy. I didn't go strategic at all. I made everyone a beast in almost everything. And I loved every single second of it. They were all mages. They all knew Fire, Thunder, and Blizzard, and they were all maxed out, or about as maxed out as I can get them in the area that I was. They all knew all the healing spells. They all knew all the best kind of white magic. Now, I did kind of get strategic with the white magic. I taught someone Protect. I taught someone Haste. I taught someone Reflect. And when I would grind those, you know, each of them specialized in something, so that was super fun. But it was just awesome. It was just so cool. There's a lot of reasons why I liked it, but for one, how much I'm able to customize it. Two, if I wanted to exploit it and get super OP, and I could have, like, I guess hit myself during battles and done that whole thing. I never did that. I didn't really think about it. I was so distracted with the main game that I didn't think like I needed to or wanted to exploit it because I felt like I was just getting strong grinding. But that's the beauty of it too. It's a choice. You don't have to like, oh, the only way that I'm gonna get stronger is by hitting myself. No, it is not. It is completely a choice. If you choose to exploit the game, that's on you. I loved it. Again, they're just like, it really made it feel like every single fight, even if it was against like little enemies, if I just used fire, boom, that was worth it. Because then my MP went down, so that gives me a chance to get more MP. If I got hit, my hit went down, so that gives me a chance for that. Every time an enemy attacked me and I either evaded or took a hit, that was a chance to increase my evasion. There was just so much. There was just so much. It just made grinding in this game feel super worth it 24/7. And this isn't the first game to do it. And you know what? One of my favorite games of all freaking time. I have a freaking poster of it. I'm not just saying that. My favorite thing about Skyrim is the fact that you level up your skills by using them. If I want to level up my destruction magic, I use fire. I want to level up my one-handed, I hit things with one hand. So why is it that a game like Skyrim has the same exact mechanic? People love it. Now I do get it. In a literal sense, I mean, they're completely different games. But I'm just saying, literally, my favorite thing about Skyrim was that. And they have that in Final Fantasy II. So I loved Final Fantasy II. Oh, you know what also sucked me into this game so freaking hard? Now, I'm not one much for getting into like games where there's loot and there's drop rates and I have to get a certain item and kill enemies to get certain items. I don't like it. I hate it. I hate anything that's luck based because I could literally do it the very first time and get it. I could do it for 100 times and get it then, or I could literally do the fight. This is actually a thing, unlikely, but it's a thing, my entire life for years and never get the item. And I fell into that loop with this game. In my opinion, the best spell, and not even just in my opinion, because it's also the rarest spell in the game, Osmose. You absorb enemies' magic, and that way you essentially you have endless MP. Come on, if y'all into Final Fantasy, you know about the spell Osmose, and if not, look it up and become a Final Fantasy fan. I did not know how rare this spell was, but I know that I really wanted it, and I was like, dude, the moment I can get to a place where I can either grind for this spell or find the spell, I'm gonna make sure to equip it to all my party, because like I said, I was a freak. And I literally had all my people know all the magic and everyone needed MP. I just wanted to get there, and guess what? It was crazy. In the very first tower, where there's the lowest encounter rate for one specific enemy that drops this tome. I think they're wizards. And I think there's a 5% chance for if you kill one of them, for them to drop an Osmose. Fight ends. I get Osmose, Drain, which is also dope, and Flare. And I'm like, yo, that was dope. And that was super easy. And I was like, I'm really excited. I instantly started looking up and I was like, whoa, there was a 5% chance for me to get this. And whoa, there was also like, Flare also has like a 5% chance. But then I also thought, man, like that was so easy. let's just do it again. Let's just do it 2 more times. Let's just do it 2 more times. I was preemptively trying to prepare for Leon, so I was like, sure, let's just do it 3 more times. And that was it. I fell into the... I don't know if it was 5 or 6 hours or 2 or 3, but it was a long time. Me in the same little place, running around, trying to find the enemies. Eventually I said, screw it. It's not gonna happen. In the game, they'll show up more often, and I'll try to grind there. I got to that point, I was like, okay, only other spot where I can grind for this enemy at the highest percentage. I'm just gonna be here till I get it. Hours and hours and hours go by, and I quit. I give up. I didn't get Osmose. You wanna know what I did get? 5 flares, like 10 drains, like all these other spells that were also super rare to get. I swear to you, Flare has a 5% chance to get it. I got that spell like 6 or 7 times. While Osmose has the same exact drop rate, and I got that 0. Other than the first time, I never got it again when I was trying for it, because that's how it goes. That's how it goes. But nah, even with all that, it was still cool, because again, like, after that, I was super OP throughout the rest of the game, and that was fun for me. That was super fun for me, because even though I was OP, I kept getting more OP. And by the time I got to the end of the game, I wasn't as OP as I was. But anyways, enough with my Osmose story. There's literally only 1 guaranteed Osmose in a chest in the entire game, and if you want more of them, you have to grind for them. But yeah, that's my little story. I am a little bit disappointed. I feel like I got no story on the Emperor, really. Like, I really feel like the Emperor was just this big boogeyman who never showed up other than at the beginning and at the end, really. But again, for me, gameplay-wise, I loved it. And I can now honestly say that Final Fantasy II is one of my favorite Final Fantasies that I've ever played. And I can say that because I've played a couple Final Fantasies now. That is my review on Final Fantasy II. I would give this a rating of, I would say it's a good game. It's a good RPG. It's a good game. If you get as excited about the leveling up system as myself, then it's a great game. On my personal scale, right under half to play, it's an amazing game. Okay, now let's get into the second portion of this video. We'll leave the unboxing for the end, so let's talk a little bit about Dissida. Now, what was really cool is in Dissida, I actually got to learn more about Firion. Actually, see him develop as a character, see who he really is, because like I said in the game, he has little to no character development. He's just a cool looking dude who I got super overpowered and beefed up throughout the game. But other than that, I knew nothing about him. Now he had more of a face, he had a voice, he had a personality. What do I think of him? He's still one of my favorite Final Fantasy characters. I think that his dreams and his goals are a little bit cheesy. You know, the whole point of it, of Firion's story is what is his point in doing what he's doing, and is he just a puppet trying to, you know, doing what Cosmos wants him to do because he's just a good guy. He doesn't have a goal, he doesn't have a dream, but at some point he discovers his goal, he discovers his dream, and you know what he says? He wants a world full of flowers. Roll the clip.
Tell me your dream and the future you wish for in your heart.
My dream is a world filled with wild roses.
Now, I will say, he does redeem himself, because at the very end of his story, he has a really, really cool scene where, in my opinion, he just looks like a BA, and this shows he's not some little, you know, flower-loving dude. Roll the clip.
I'm trapped.
You should have disposed of your fantasy and accepted me as master. What?
There is no meaning in strength only used to hurt others. I have dreams. Dreams worth dying for.
What will an insect like you do?
Believe in the future and persist in the present. That's what I'll do.
I just think it's dope the way he stands up and uses all these freaking weapons. He's just like, going towards the Emperor. Like, that scene was just so cool to me. Oh, and fun fact, as I'm playing through with Firion, I found out that enemies in Dissida can level up mid-battle. What? In Final Fantasy II, there's a part where this snake-looking girl, who is like a mini-boss, is disguised as Hilda, the princess. Somehow, Hilda, the fake Hilda, gets Firion into a room, and she's laying on the bed, and she's like, oh, don't tease me, Firion, or something like that. And Firion and this Hilda, they're about to get it on, and Firion's just kind of like, oh, what's happening? Oh, okay, I don't want this to happen, sure. Then you kind of see him going towards the bed. In Dissida, there's a summon that you can pick up. Shiva actually says, don't tease me, or something like that. So that was a cool little reference, I think. Firion's alternative costume resembles more so how he looked in Final Fantasy II in the GBA version than in the PSP version. I think in terms of story, that's really all I have to say about Firion. Gameplay-wise, well, at first it was really hard because a lot of his gameplay has to be on the ground because his air moves suck as just magic. Once I got good with using his moves on the ground, I was kind of a beast. And then he learns these cool moves where like they're square moves, so they're bravery hits, but eventually they turn into HP hits, making it very, very OP. Honestly, he's one of my favorite characters to play in Dissida. That is all that I have to say about Firion in terms of Dissida. Let's get into the last portion of this video, which is the unboxing. I'm going to be 100% honest with you all. I want to do, we usually do sword unboxings, but I don't really know how to do a sword unboxing with this when it's just completely already opened. This is how they sent it to me in the box. There's really no point in me just stabbing this and potentially, damaging the figurine, because it's open, so again, I'm not trying to be fake. I'm not gonna like act like it's not, and then, we're just gonna open it, and check out Firion. So what's different from this is, I thought he was gonna come in kind of like one of these little boxes. But he actually came in like a little bit of a different setup, and I like this more than little boxes because I don't have to build him. It's already built. Some of these characters are hard to build. Wow, let's check this dude out. Oh, wow, oh my god. Something else to note really quick about like gimmicks and him in Dissida. In Dissida, he's known as the master of all weapons. Like he literally has like 7 or 8 different weapons, and it's super cool. They really emphasize this in all of his intros and outros into fights, the attacks that he does. He's known as like the weapon master, and I think that that's a super cool tie-in to the game because like I said in Final Fantasy II, if I wanted to, which I did overpower Firion, I could have had him be a beast with the sword, with the shield, with the bow, with the lance, with anything. He literally was like the jack of all trades in terms of weapon and magic too, because that's why he could learn magic. A lot of his bravery attacks in there are magic. I thought that was super cool, and that is why when you see him in the city, he's just loaded with weapons, and that's something that you're gonna notice with this figurine. In my opinion, he's the coolest out of all the figurines that I've opened up so far. Oh no. Here he is. Check him out. The amount of detail on this bruh is super cool. I love how he looks with the cape flowing. Look at those weapons. I think he looks absolutely dope. And at first I was a little bit worried because he seemed big, like bigger, and different. And I was like, oh no, he's gonna stand out, and I wanted them all to match and blah, blah, blah. But, I mean, if I look at this box right here, you can see him in the corner. I mean, he's paired up with everyone else, and he looks exactly the same. And when I put him next to one of the other figurines, the base, everything's the same. He does look bigger, but not by much. And I feel like a part of it is all his weapons. But I will say he is a little bit bigger. So dope! That is it. That is my review on Final Fantasy II. You got to see an unboxing, you got to see a little bit of a review of him in Dissida. So yeah, I absolutely love Final Fantasy II. Please comment down below what you all thought of the game. It's okay if you disagree, but go downstairs and tell me why you disagree. Okay if you loved it, and tell me downstairs why you loved it. Do not forget to subscribe to one of the most amazing YouTube families on this platform. And thank you all so much for watching, Wolfpack. I will see you all next time.